Welcome everyone. In this video we will learn what are the path to computer science learning. Let us say when you have started computer science, what are the paths you can learn from? So the first recommendation is to learn data structures and algorithms, and with this you will start with something called competitive coding with various languages. So as you start your computer science, the first thing you should learn is linear search. What are linear search, binary search, bubble sort, selection sort, insertion sort, merge sort, recursion, and all these applies to all the languages listed here such as C, C++, C#, Java, Python 3. These are not all the list, but these would be essential languages you can learn applying all these algorithms along with the data structures such as single linked list or singly linked list, doubly linked list, hash tables, tries, and so on, so forth. So once you understand the data structures and algorithm part of it, and using languages such as C, C++, and so on, there are platforms where you can learn and live code on those platform about the competitive coding. And out of that, few are listed here such as LeetCode, CoderByte, CodeChef, HackerRank, HackerEarth, TopCoder, Project Euler. So this is something which when you want to learn something called something for the competitive coding and data structures and algorithms, this is something which I would say that you should learn when you enroll in computer science or whenever you want to learn computer science, because this will give you the idea of what to learn and how to learn in any of the languages. So let us see what else after this section. So there are two paths. One is if you are interested, one is called web development. So let's see the other path, that is mobile development. It is different. Web is for for whatever you want to build for the web, and mobile development. So let us see what would you see and do in mobile development. So in mobile development, earlier it was only the native aspect of mobile, but now seeing the wider aspect, we have web apps which you could achieve using PWA, that is progressive web app, and AMP. These are accelerated mobile pages. So you can learn all these about the web pages, how to build that, and this will help you when you learn web development. This thing which it comes in the performance section of the web development. So this is not something new which you could do in mobile development, but yes, this is part of the mobile development. Another aspect of mobile development is the native app development, that is from Android. I have listed two, that is Android Java, Android Kotlin, because Android apps can be built using Java languages and as well as Kotlin. And the other part of the native development is the iOS development. For that you need to learn Swift. And apart from native development, one branch would be the hybrid app development, which you could achieve using Flutter. But Flutter is not just for the mobile development, it is for the web development, it is for hybrid app development, it is for web OS development. So Flutter is something which you should learn whenever you wanted to learn something new in the mobile app development field. The best part of the Flutter and all the hybrid apps such as the React Native and the Ionic is that you compile your code to run on Android as well as iOS and the other platforms. So what after mobile development? So another field would be which I have taken the path into, that is web development. So web development has something which I have listed here is called must know. So I'll come later on that, but as soon as when you get enrolled in the web development part of the computer science, first thing you should learn is that about the basic front end. So what is the basic front end? It will be a combination of HTML5, CSS3 and JavaScript. So it's not like that you will learn whole complete HTML5 and then CSS3 and then JavaScript. So the best way of learning all these languages would be first understand the basics of HTML5, then learn CSS3, mix together those two, and learn some intermediate things of HTML5 and CSS3, and then go on to learn JavaScript, and all together apply all together and build a project, and that way you will learn the basics front end. Also, once you cover the front end part of it, the web development, you should learn there are two paths. One is called the front end developer and the another one is called the back end developer. So in front end developer, if you happen to be in the front end part and you like the UI aspect of it, whatever you see on the front end part, first thing you should learn is about the CSS. We already learned here the CSS3, but this CSS is when you learn more about the CSS frameworks and the pre-compilers. So as far as the framework goes, first thing you should learn is the Bootstrap. This is a very good framework. Similarly, there is another good framework that is Materialize, and somewhat gaining popularity is about the Tailwind. So all these are the CSS framework. So if you want to understand more about how a framework works and how you can use those frameworks in your projects, there are good resources on website. And similarly, once you done with that, it's not necessary that you will be using frameworks, but with the grids and the flexbox coming up, CSS is much faster now. So to write CSS faster, there are pre-compilers. The popular one is the Sass. Also you can learn Less or Stylus, but I would recommend that learn any one because all does the same job. You should not invest in all three, but if you wanted to just see the code structure, how it works, feel free to do that. And once you do the CSS part, you should learn the JavaScript frameworks. So it has there are many frameworks, JavaScript frameworks, but the popular ones are React.js, Vue.js, and AngularJS. So React in alone has something which divides and gets into multiple paths and the multiple pathways. I have not taken all those here into the consideration, but if you want to learn more about React.js, let me know in the comment section. I will do another video where I will show what are the pathways to React developer learning React.js. Similarly for Vue.js and AngularJS, if you wanted to learn wanted to know more about these frameworks, do comment in the write in the comment section, so I can do that. So once you learn any of the frameworks, any of the three, but I would recommend React.js over all these two, Vue and Angular, because of the popularity what React has, and as well as the career opportunity React gives us. Another thing, if you are going into the front end part, you should learn about the front end build tool, which is npm, Yarn, Webpack, and Babel. So these are the things which you should learn. This is the front end build tools. And before going to the unit testing, because testing is always we ignore as a developer, as a student, we never think testing is something which we should learn. And trust me, we should learn unit testing as well as testing of all sort. So there are front end testing, unit testing frameworks, and where you can build you could test your front end projects, which is some of those are Chai, Karma, and Mocha, or Mocha, however you pronounce. Apart from these, you should have a JS skills, the basic ones about learning a TypeScript. TypeScript is very fun way to write JavaScript, and very good way to write the JavaScript. Apart from that, you should learn state management such as RxJS, as well about the JavaScript. Once you do these things, one is the other another aspect of front end is gaining popularities these days is of Jamstack. So if you wanted to learn about Jamstack, the best thing would be to learn Gatsby, Gatsby.js or Next.js. Both works fine. Both is very great to learn and very easy to learn. Developer, and the other path to the web development is the backend developer. So there are two major things we would say that backend framework or languages has. One is called the scripting language, where you would use, because if you are coming from Java background, JavaScript background, you should learn Node.js. What is Node.js? And for the framework which goes along with Node.js is the Express.js. And if you are coming from the Python background, you should learn Python as a backend. And for that, there are two good frameworks to get started with. One is Django and Flask. If you're coming from the PHP world and you wanted to learn as a PHP as a backend language, you should learn the Laravel framework. That is a very good resource to get started with backend development in PHP. Apart from that, if you wanted to learn high performance system languages where you wanted to interact with system level architectures and libraries, you should learn Rust. Rust and Go are the two languages. Initially Go was called Golang, but now it's Go. So you should learn Rust or Go. Both are good, but there are debates over which is good over other. So whatever path you take, like whatever languages you take, high performance or the scripting language, these are the things you should learn for every language or framework whenever you are dealing with the backend languages. One is called the authentication and authorization, that is the OAuth 2.0. Let me see. And also you should learn about what is JSON Web Token, that is JWT. Also how to develop a REST API or RESTful API, how to interact with that. Also, as I said, unit testing is something which we ignore all the time. So for any backend language, you should do the unit testing for that language or framework. As well as for every language, there is a package management. You should learn about that as well. GraphQL API, WebSockets, and read the articles about the security best practices, or reach out to any of your fellow developers to say that what are the security best practices for that particular language. And also when you are working with that language, another thing is of deploying your app. So I'll cover that here as well later on. But once you do these two things, that is the scripting language which you write your backend in, or the high performance system languages. So another thing is for the data, how you should manage your data. There are multiple databases. One is the relational database. You could go with MySQL or PostgreSQL. Both are similar. One has the slight advantages over other, but any of the relational databases would work fine with all the languages what you have been interacting with, though it is Node.js, Python or PHP. And for, let us say, if you wanted to build something more advanced and you wanted to use caching, you should learn about Redis. And if you wanted to build a document databases, or NoSQL databases, there are good resource for that. You should learn about MongoDB or RethinkDB. These are the document databases. Once you deal with these databases, another thing which comes in the mind, this is separate thing, but it can be interacted with the data as well. Learn about the search engine, how it works, as well as how Elastic works. So Elastic is something which will help you a lot whenever you are dealing with live data or those sort of data. You should learn about what is Elastic and how to integrate those in your application. Okay, now you have developed your app. You have done the front end part, you have done the back end part. So now let's the other thing is of hosting, where you should host your apps or applications or websites, or what sort of things you should learn about before hosting. So these are the basic skills you should have. What is domain, how it works, how a client or server works. Similarly, what are the DNS records such as A record, CNAME record, MX record? What are these? Learn about these things, because this will help you deploy your app very efficiently and smoothly. Apart from that, there are hosting pages or hosting providers where you could host your apps or your websites. If you are not using the dynamic part of it, you should like your website just has the HTML, CSS and JavaScript, so those are called static apps. You can deploy it on GitHub Pages. GitHub Pages are free to use. Similarly, you can deploy it on Netlify, but Netlify has some other advantages, such as if you have your React app, you can build that app on the Netlify and it will serve the public folder of that. So it has more advantages over static. So it cannot be said that it is just the static, but it offers more than the static app. And if you wanted to host a backend, a dynamic app or dynamic website, you should learn about how to host it on AWS. There are multiple providers I have not listed here. Others are DigitalOcean. Even you can host on other service provider. But why AWS I have hosted here is that whenever you are learning as a student, you may not have the resource, you may not have the money to invest in DigitalOcean or some other providers. So what AWS offers 1 year of free subscription to hosting. You could do that by just giving them your credit card details or your debit card details. It's very fair and simple procedure. They won't charge you anything till 1 year, and if you wanted to continue, you could continue, and if you don't want to continue, you cannot you can withdraw your account, you can delete your account. So when I started learning, I was not knowing about AWS hosting, so I learned about AWS hosting later on, maybe in the 3rd or 4th year. But after learning this, it has helped me a lot to test and build something dynamic over the other static things. So yes, this is something which you should know about hosting. What are the things you should consider? Title or another learning path would be DevOps, if you know the front end and back end part. Another aspect of it is to deploy your app. Yeah, hosting is something very limited to that, but hosting comes under the DevOps part only, but I have made it a separate just because this is for students, and this is for students, that is why I have made this. So if you know all the basics things, you should learn about what is DevOps. There are platforms to deploy, as I was saying, AWS, Azure, DigitalOcean, Google Cloud. So how to do that and what helps you, what services these offer, you can explore that. Similarly, what is called CI/CD, continuous integration and deployment and delivery, all sort of things, it comes under DevOps. How the one easiest way is of GitHub Actions, where you can integrate, learn about CI/CD is very easily and efficiently. When you are learning about DevOps, one thing you should learn about what is Docker, how to make it as a container. I'm not going deep in detail right now, but if you wanted to understand anything here, whatever is here in the graph or in the diagram, do comment and in the chat, and I will try to answer that. So once you learn about DevOps, what else? So as I said, these are the must know things. Whatever path, whatever thing you are learning, it is not necessary you should learn all these first and then learn about this. This is something which goes along, and I would recommend that learn first this, like what are the HTTP status codes, what is 200 called, what is 403, 404, 503, all various sorts of status code. Also learn about how server and client works. That way you will understand more about the status code. Similarly, what are the HTTP methods? What are get, put, post, delete? All sort of methods you can learn about. If you wanted to learn any of this, let me know. I will make a separate video about that. Or also you can comment from where you have learned these things. If you have learned any of the things I have mentioned here in the comment sections, make sure that it's open for all, it's free for all, so that people can, or students can get benefit of. Another thing is about basic terminal uses, how to use the terminal. One thing I have not mentioned here is that whenever you are going into computer science, you need to choose your OS. OS is the operating system, whichever operating system you are using. Mainly there are three types of operating system. One is the Windows, another one is the Linux. The most popular ones, you can choose the Linux flavor is of Ubuntu or Fedora. These are very good to get started with. And the other is the Mac OS. So depending on the OS, I would say that learn about the basic terminal uses of all these OSs. Like Mac OS and the Linux has the similarities in terminal uses as compared to the Windows. But even if you are doing it in your Windows, learn the basic Linux terminals. Another thing you should learn about is about basic Git commands. What are Git, pull, push, merge, how to create branch, how to work on different issues and whatnot. So yes, the other thing is basic Git command, and then basic SSH. Let us say how to deploy your app on the server. So easiest way of connecting to computer is to have a SSH connection enabled. It is secure than any of the connections whatever you're going to use. So learn about basic SSH. And learn about, if you are into web development, learn about the basic browser dev tools. So browser dev tools is something which you would learn more web development when you know the browser web tools. Let me know. I'll be making videos. If I don't find any good resources on YouTube, I'll be making videos on any of the topics listed here. But if you know that there are good resources on YouTube from where you have learned these basic things, do comment in the comments and let me know. I will link all those videos here in the Kaggle diagram, so that also I will put this diagram link in the description of this video, so that you can follow along and see how this looks in the diagram. And similarly, I will be putting more of the videos link over here, so that you can click and learn more about that. So that would cover the web development part of computer science, and we have covered the mobile development, and we have covered the data structures and algorithm, which will give you access to competitive coding. And the other thing is computer science offer is of game development. I don't have much resources on game development, but I just wanted to put it here so that from computer science there is another field called game development. I know there are multiple things I have not included. This is just to give you an idea of what is ahead. So that is why I have taken the liberty to give this video name Computer Science Pathfinder, so that this will give you a path of learning. This will give you a path to understand what to learn in computer science. And yes, with this I would like to conclude this video, and will ask you guys that if you know any of the good resources or from where you have learned HTML5, CSS3 or any of these links, do comment in the comment section. I will try to, if that is really good, I would try to make sure that this I will make it into the hyperlink of that video, so that people can learn it by visiting this diagram as well as by visiting those learning resources. So that was it. So that is the pathfinder to computer science and what you will be learning in computer science. So thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, please share among your friends, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.